Guys, thanks for tuning in to my Florida drive-by. It's about 85 degrees. I'm in southern Florida. Now there's a Mustang in front of me. I never really was a big person on Mustangs. The cars are okay for the price, but I never really thought of them as that much of a sports car. You know, myself, I've always liked Chevy 2, like a 64 Chevy 2 SS, blower, arrow rear end, or, you know, something more, that kind of body style. Firebird, Carl. But anyway, how's everybody else doing? It's about 85 degrees, and I'm in southern Florida on the I-75. I just passed exit 179, which is northward Florida, and I'm heading down towards Fort Myers. It's Friday, September 4th, 2015. Pretty nice out, 86 degrees. It just was about 89. It rained. It went down to 80. Now the temperature's slowly climbing. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening right now. 4:59. We'll be changing to 5. I've got about 71 miles on the I-75 south to go. But I hope everybody else is doing great. Today I wanted to bring out a subject about 45 ACP as a carry gun, and I'm going to try to address the myths, the facts, some of the struggles you might encounter if you do decide to carry a 45. Now, 45 ACP, okay, was the caliber they used in the military for years. Then they moved over to 9mm. Some special forces and stuff still do use 45 ACP. I remember I used a 45 ACP when I was in the military to actually practice with it. Most of the time, 45s or sidearms were given to the officers. I was not an officer, but I did practice with them. You also, the M16 was the gun that they used in the military when I was in. Very accurate, up to 300 meters plus. Believe me, 300 meters, that's 900 feet, guys. I was able to hit. If you could see it, you could hit it with an M16. Accurate gun. But anyway, so let's go a few clicks forward. Military adapted the 9mm, but there is, however, some parts of the military still use the 45. Big thing was happening previous to the 45 ACP. They used a 38. Yes, they were using 38. They found out the 38 was a marginal round for protection. So they moved in and invented. The round was invented, okay, 45 ACP. And most of your 1911s, but just about all of them, it was recommended to use 45 ACP, full metal jacket, round nose ball ammo. And that's all they used. And they used it for a few reasons. Because the 45 ACP was superior penetration. Okay? They were having penetration problems with the 38s and stuff, where they would shoot and, an enemy might have a lot of clothing on, or coverage, or denim, or whatever, and the bullet would not penetrate it. The 45 ACP did not have the under-penetration problems of the 38. It penetrated fine. It actually went through the layers of clothing, struck any kind of bones, it hit arteries, it stopped the threat. So that was adopted for a very, very long time. Then there was some scuttlebutt about the new recruits couldn't handle it. Geneva Convention says it's unfair damage. Did too much damage. So they moved over to the 9mm. And that probably will be changing soon too. But parts of the special forces and parts of the military, different branches, still use the 45. So that brings us to the 45 in a self-defense scenario. And in particular, we're talking about concealed carry, carrying your gun for defense. Now, any kind of concealed carry brings numerous risks involved with it. There's legal liabilities, there's safety concerns, a lot of different stuff. So when we decide to select the 45 ACP, we have to weigh all these. The number one, I would say, issue is people selecting a caliber that they cannot accurately fire at 21 feet. If you're selecting a 45, you better take it out to the range and make sure at 21 feet, that's about 7 yards, you can consistently hit the first, second, or minimum third circle on a standard target consistently. What do I mean by consistently? I would say out of however many bullets your gun handles, you hit 80% of those within the target. It should be 100 because you may not get a second chance. Because bottom line, concealed carry or personal protection, normally that happens at close quarters. Probably 21 feet and less. When I say practice at 21 feet because that's the proven statistic where they said if somebody's running at you and they had a knife, chances are they probably would get you with the knife before you could pull the gun out of your holster. So maybe even a little further, but that's the minimum. That's the minimum range that you would want to be able to consistently be on target with your gun. If you're not consistently on target with your gun, and we're talking about 45, using a 45 bullet, you could try lightening up the bullet, using instead of like a 45, 230 grain hollow point, to maybe a 45 non-plus P, maybe 200 grain or something, or maybe a low recoil bullet. If that's not doing it for you, then you're going to really have to focus on your practice or your gun. A high percentage of it is practicing and getting to know your gun. But if you're using a gun which is too light or you can't handle, then that could be an issue too. Myself, if you're using 45, I would recommend using a gun that is at least partially stainless steel, and if possibly, ported, some mild porting. Because being at least some stainless steel in the gun, it will be a little heavier. And if it's ported, having that porting in there, that will allow, when you fire, to give you a little bit more weight. If there's not enough weight, you get, for every equal reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Well, when you pull the trigger and you shoot the gun, what's going to happen, because of the recoil, because of the force of the gases coming out, your barrel's going to tend to go up, and you lose accuracy. If it's ported, the gases will go through that and push your barrel down. So you'll have it a better on target, and you'll be more accurate. A lot of people will say, well, what about night shots? Night shots, you're probably only going to get 1 or 2 shots anyway, and it's not going to really matter. Unless you have a tack light on your gun. If you have a tack light, that will help with a night shot anyway. But it's not that bad, the flash. You're going to be so much on adrenaline, you're not even going to know. And normally, chances are you're lucky to get 1 shot off. A lot of these people say multiple shots. Well, if you shoot the trigger and if you don't hit your target within the first 1 or 2 shots, chances are your target's going to get away, or if he's got a gun or a knife, you're going to have to be victimized. So, you have to weigh those. So basically, there's 3 main factors. If you're going to use the 45, and before, if you're deciding on a gun, go for the first 3. You have to make sure you don't have too hot of a round in the gun. You can handle it. And if that's not an issue, then you're going to have to make sure you are familiar with the gun. You're well trained in the gun. You know how to use it. You know how to handle it. You've put maybe 100 plus rounds through there once a month, testing the gun. then the next thing, the gun itself. Do you have a gun you can handle? You know, is it good enough? So really those three things. Now, if you haven't picked a caliber, then caliber we get into it. So we would have, what caliber can you safely and accurately shoot at 21 feet and be at least 80% proficient on being on target within the first 3 circles. It should be 100, really, but I'm just saying 80 to begin with. Really, you should be 100% at 21 feet within the first 3 circles. So, you know, I'm going to say roughly be able to be within a 6-inch target. And like if you have a 10-round magazine, hitting 10 at 6 inches. Really, that's ideal, but I'll say 80% for newer shooters that are practicing. But eventually, you want to be down to 100 at 100% at 21 feet at 6-inch target. And that's no small chore. But if you're at that, then you can firmly pretty much, you know, and the closer you're within this first circle to the bullseye, even better. Then you're going to be pretty much sure you can hit what you're shooting at. So the bullet. Then the accuracy. How much do you shoot? Then the gun itself, and then not just the type of bullet and the type of charge you're using in that bullet. So you really have to weigh those up. And like I say, there's a lot of things you can do. You can get grips to help you, you know, firmly grip on it. There's gripping techniques you can learn. Some guns have small muzzle weights you can add to them to get a little bit more weight. Porting, you know, is always an option. And Magnaport will port your gun, and they're located, I believe, in Rochester, New York. Look them up on the internet. Will help a lot. It doesn't hurt. And for the amount of gases you're using to porting, it's much more worth doing that and being more accurate with your gun. But you have to weigh those. And that's, you know, we're just mainly talking about 45. You can reflect this to any gun. But myself, you know, picking a caliber, you know, that's a decision you got to decide. But thanks a lot. Have a great day. And that's factors to take into consideration when carrying a 45 ACP for concealed carry